Hello everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my pronunciation practice class. We're doing class 18. We're going to work on a few skills, and then we're going to get to a monologue which you can practice and also listen to from the movie A Bronx Tale. We'll be doing the part of Sonny. So, more about that in just a minute. First, a bit about me. I'm Jon-Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. Here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. Which means, please turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom nice and quiet. Also, tune in to the new words that you're learning, or in this case, maybe the new concepts that you're learning about pronunciation. Use them as actively as you can so that I can give you feedback. And last but not least, open up to your classmates. Just relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that is a little bit about me. Let me fix my camera. Let me say hello to you, Alessia. How are you?
Hi, John. Fine, thank you. And you?
How are you? Pretty good. And hopefully there'll be more people joining us.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people signed up, but they haven't come into class yet. I hope so. Here is the link to the notes, which you will need. 1 second. I'm going to open it as well.
To get it because I find something in the verbling.
It's there in the chat window. See it?
It's a pronunciation practice.
That's right.
I have it.
Okay. And what I'm going to do
It's
is...
strange because usually your lessons are so, how do you say, crowded.
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 It's Monday and the World Cup is on. And
Okay.
people are, I don't know,
For me, it's
depressed or happy or something. I'm not sure.
English.
I don't know.
Okay.
But let's see where we are here. So what we're going to do, I got to wait for this to open as well. It's a little bit slow. What we're going to do is, let me share my screen. This is taking forever. Oh, no, it's not loading. Hold on a second. Give me a second here. Is it loading? Okay, now it's loaded. Okay, I'm going to try to share my screen just to show you. See if my screen share is working. 1 second. There we go. Okay. So, first of all, working slowly. Wow, everything's in a different place than it's supposed to be. This document keeps changing. I don't know why. These are not supposed to look like that. They're supposed to be like that and like that. Okay, so just to remind you, in the beginning, when we first started these classes, we came up with basically five tools.
Yeah.
And you can see them listed there.
Okay.
And they work more or less in order. So
Okay.
the first tool is that you have to find the content words and forget the function words. And there's a little explanation. You click that. I'm not going to go through the explanations unless we need them, but just to remind you what they are. And the tool 2 is once you find the content words and forget the function words, the content words are the important words, the words that have meaning. The function words are the words that link, like the is a function word, but cat, as in the cat would be the content word. So we'll see this in just a minute. Tool number 2 is to find the stress, get stressed out. Find the stress in the content word. Well, if the word is cat, you don't have to worry about the stress because there's only one syllable. But if the word is, I don't know, building, then bill, first syllable, has the stress. In Italian, this is la sillaba tonica. In English, it's called stress.
Yeah. Okay.
The third tool is to link the sounds together,
Mm.
and we've got 4 different ways we discovered we can link sounds together in English. The fourth tool is dropping out sounds, and basically we discovered that the last letter, particularly if it's a T, will probably be dropped. We also discovered that the L is usually not an L. It's usually not dropped, but softened. And last, this cluster tool means that when you've got different consonants together, the way to practice them is by adding them one at a time rather than trying to say them all at once. And there's a little exercise we can do if there's a difficult consonant. Then you've got 3 charts, a vowel chart, a chart for the, what is the 3 T's? I forgot. It's been so long since I used it. Oh, it's the past tense. 3 ways to pronounce the past tense, and then finally the International Phonetic Alphabet. Okay, so that's all of the reference material that we're going to use, but we're actually going to apply it. So you'll see class 18 on the next page, on page 9. Let me see who else is here. Oh, it's just you. No, I've got more people. There we go. Let me turn off my screen sharing. 1 second. There we go. Okay, so just a quick hello to Nader and Giuseppe. Nice to have you. So if you go to page, nice to see you too. If you go to page 9 of our shared document, which you'll find in the chat window, we're on class 18, and we're going to start with a few exercises. What I'm trying to do in each class is make you more aware of some aspect of pronunciation, do a little bit of practice with it, and then apply it to a monologue, something that you can listen to, something from film or television or a podcast, doesn't really matter, but something that you can listen to on your own. So today we're going to look at one of the forms of function words. Remember, as I said earlier, function words are the words that are not the main words of the sentence. They're the linking words. But I want to introduce you or remind you about a special form of function words. So under class 18, you're going to see a little chart. It should appear in just a second. Let's see if it works. There we go. Okay, can everyone see the chart that I just pasted? Yes? No? Can everyone see the chart that I pasted? Nader?
Yes.
Actually, I'm driving, so I cannot see it.
Oh, right. You don't have the document open?
No, but I'm using my mobile phone.
Well, it's going to be a little difficult because let me see. I need to use a shared Google Doc for the class today. Nader.
So no problem. You use Google Drive, and I'll just listen.
Okay. It's going to be a little bit difficult because you need to see it. I'll try to share my screen, but every time I share my screen, I can't see who's in the classroom, and then sometimes people come in and think I'm ignoring them, which I'm not.
No problem. You continue as usual. You use your Google Drive. Don't share your screen. I'll just listen. No problem.
No, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to try at least. Let's see if it works. Okay, so let's go there. Contracted forms. First of all, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different contracted forms. Why don't we just read through them to make sure that they're clear? Let's start with there. I'll read the first, and we'll just go around the room. And there, if you're able to see this, you can join in. Otherwise, we'll catch up with you later.
Yes, I can see it.
All right, good. So the first one is the d, the contracted d. Notice it could be two different function words. It can be had and would. And then in the third column, you've got the pronunciation. The d sound, whenever you see a letter between two slanted lines, that means it's pronunciation. It's not the letter D, it's the sound D. So it says it's pronounced D after vowels, as in I'd already seen it. It's pronounced D after consonants. It'd be wonderful. Not it, but it'd. It's really hard to say slowly. It'd be wonderful. That'd be wonderful. It's always a ud. It says because it's after a consonant, but I kind of disagree with that. Maybe it's true, but here it seems to be because we're trying to say would. It would be wonderful. We're trying to say it really fast, so we don't say the whole word. But okay, maybe it's just a kind of an artifact from the way your mouth is shaped when you're saying the consonant. Okay, let's read through these rules really quickly and then see if we can do an exercise or two and then apply them to the monologue. Oh, one last point. If you've been practicing last week's monologue, you'll have a chance to do it with corrections today. You'll have a chance to perform it after this. So Giuseppe, why don't you read the next one? Just read through it quickly, see if you can say the sounds, and then we'll move on.
Okay, as, is, has, as after P, T, K, F, V. It's
not
interesting.
Not S, but S after.
S. S
Yeah.
after P, T, K, F, V.
Not PTKF, but P. Repeat. P.
P,
T.
T,
K.
K,
F.
F,
And Th.
F.
Right. Remember, Th does not exist in Italian, so it's one of those weird sounds that most foreigners have trouble with. But it's the th sound, the sound as in the word thin. Th.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Z, after other sounds, she's left.
Right. So just say that first one again. It's interesting.
It's interesting.
And she's left.
She's left.
Okay, very good. That's it. So the first one that I did was the apostrophe D sound, and Giuseppe, the one you did is the apostrophe S sound. That little line next to the S is apostrophe. In Italian, it's the same word, right? Isn't it? You say apostrophe?
Apostrophe.
Yes.
Okay. So in English, it's apostrophe. We say with the E like an E. Okay, so who is there? Alessia, right? Read the next one for us.
Yeah. With the L, will.
Well, apostrophe double L. Say it like that.
Okay. L, he'll get it.
So repeat after me. Apostrophe double L.
Apostrophe double L.
The function word is will.
Will.
And
L.
the sound, because it's between two lines, is ill, right? As in I'll.
I'll
Get it.
get it.
Right? I'll get it. So it's good that we read through this once so that you can really have a good example at the beginning. Actually, now that I see it, I wasn't sure if we should read through these, but it's actually quite good. Okay, Nader, let's try the fourth one.
The
So just go.
form,
Yeah, which we call apostrophe what?
apostrophe VE.
Exactly.
The function word is have.
Right?
The pronunciation is the sound
pronunciation,
V.
Right? Not the sound V, but the sound V.
The sound V after vowels, you've got a letter.
Good.
F, the sound F after consonants, I could have gone.
Exactly. That's it. That's it. So most, not most, but many, many native speakers write I could of gone. Because you grew up hearing this, and particularly if you don't read a lot, you might not realize that it's could have. Many people make this mistake. Because when we say it fast, it sounds like of, but it's not of. It's could have. Could have. I could have gone. Okay. So we're back to Giuseppe for the next one, the fifth one.
Apostrophe RE.
Good?
Function words are.
Right?
And the sounds before
Good.
a vowel.
Vowel.
Vowel. We are right. And
Yeah, we're right.
before a consonant. We're winning.
Okay, remember, a lot of my material is British English, so it's a little different. The second one is really a British sound, British English sound, not an American English sound. So they say that you drop the R, you just say before a consonant. We are. But that's British English. In American English, we don't say, we are winning. Hello there, would you like a spot of tea? We're winning. No, we say we're. So for us, it's exactly the same. Whether it's before a vowel or consonant, you keep the R. Okay, but just keep that in mind if you're working on a British accent, which you can do. Very easy to do. If you're using these monologues, then you've already got the idea of doing a close listening and repeating along with an audio track, which is an old technique called tracking. Sometimes you see on the internet people call this shadowing, which is really weird because it's fine, you can call it what you want, but it wasn't invented with the internet. It was invented with the phonograph like 100 years ago. So it's actually an old technique of listening and repeating. So if you want to work on a British accent, you can do that by listening and repeating or tracking an audio track, as long as you can, as long as you know what the words are and you can say them at the same time. In my classes, you can either take the monologue that I read or the YouTube link to the clip, and you can track in that way. And you'll probably be working on an American accent because I tend to use American English for my classes, with the clips. Okay, Alessia, let's try the last one, the sixth and final contracted form.
Okay. N apostrophe T, note.
Good.
And T, and I haven't
Good.
got any.
Right, I haven't got any. That's it. Okay, so now that you're more aware of the 6 contracted forms, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's only these 6 contracted forms. Oh, there's one little exception to this. Apostrophe S can also be us, not just is and has, but it can be us, as in let's go, let us go. But that's the only exception that I can think of. Okay, so let's see if we can do a few exercises with these. Just take a look at my exercises. What should we do here? Okay, we did this one last week, but let's try it. We did a similar one last week. I'm going to copy and paste exercise 1 into the document. You should be able to see it on your screen. By the way, if anyone comes into the class, please let me know because I can't see anything right now. So if anyone joins us, just say, hey, Jon-Eric, stop ignoring that person. Let me see. I'm going to move this to the next page. Okay, so take a look on page 10, and all you have to do is say the lines and match the response B to the first part in A. For example, he's leaving now. That's the Z sound, and it matches with I thought he'd already gone. Well, that's quite important because you have to see that it's he is leaving now, that it's in the present tense, not he has or he, us. Of course, that would make sense. So the contraction tells you what tense it is as well. So this is kind of a conceptual exercise here. Okay? Giuseppe, you're up for number 2.
We're arriving at 10. We arriving at 10. Well, let's hit now.
Okay, good. Let's see. A. Oh, these are not really numbered, are they? Hold on a second. A will be number 1 was B2, and yours was let's see it now, right?
Yes.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B5. We're arriving at 10. Let's eat now. I wonder if that's the best choice. I don't have the answers in front of me, but something sounds a little fishy there. We're arriving at 10. Let's eat now. We'll have to get back to it. We have to match them all up before we can see if we're right or wrong. So we'll come back to that one. But it sounds fishy. Because what's the connection? We're arriving at 10. Let's eat now. 10 seems like it's the future, and now seems like it's the present, right, Giuseppe?
Yeah, I guess the best option, the best choice is it would be good to see you.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying at first it seems a little fishy.
Fishy.
Fishy. A little peshy. It seems, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. Actually, let me see if I do have the answers. I don't think I do, but let me just double check. This was 27. Maybe I do. Hold on a second. It always makes it a little faster because I don't have to do the exercises with you. Just tell you. Give me just a second here. I might have it. 27, 27, 27. By the way, I'm missing one of my computers, so I have to put everything on the same computer, which makes it go a little slower as well. Yep, I was right. It's fishy. It's fishy. But you're not going to get it till we fill them all in. So don't worry. It's not that obvious. Okay, we'll come back to that. I'll put a little question mark here under B5. We'll come back to it. Alessia, let's try number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't got any money on me. Don't worry, I've got my credit card. So I think it's 6B, B6.
Right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, B6. That sounds pretty good to me. Yep, that sounds good. Makes sense. I haven't got money. But that sounds good. The sound you're doing is the nt sound. Haven't. And you did it fine, by the way. Okay, Nader, we're on to 4.
Do you think it'd be okay to camp here?
Say that again. Say that again.
Do you think it'd be okay to camp here?
Do you think it'd be okay? It'd. Yeah.
It'd
It's
be
like
okay.
it's like saying id really fast. Do you think it'd be okay?
Do you think it'd be okay to camp here?
Perfect. Very good.
Let's ask the farmer.
Let's ask the
Ask
farmer
the
is
farmer.
number 1, and that sounds good to me too. Because we're obviously on the farmer's land. Don't make the farmer angry. Giuseppe, we're on to you, number 5.
You should have taken the job. You're right, I should.
Absolutely. So that's B7, right?
Yes.
Okay. And just say that again, the first part.
You should have.
You should have. Good. You should have taken. So that's the uv sound. Uv. All right. And Alessia, we're on to 6.
Okay, sorry. 6, I suppose I've heard Kathy's idea.
Wait a second. Doesn't say I've. Look at it again.
I suppose I have heard Kathy's idea.
I have? Wait a second. Look carefully.
You have.
You
Sorry.
have. Except we're not
yeah,
going to say, good, but we're not
yeah.
going to say you
Sorry,
have. We're not going to say you
I
have. It's a contraction.
I suppose you have heard Kathy's idea.
Okay, listen to me.
Yeah.
Repeat. You've.
You've
Yeah, you've heard.
heard.
That's it.
I suppose you've heard Kathy's idea.
Good.
Okay. Is B3?
B3 is correct. So say the whole thing for me.
I think it's ridiculous.
Right. So don't forget, it's you've heard. It's more natural to say I've because you hear it more often, but it's you've. I suppose you've heard Kathy's idea. Yes, I thought it's ridiculous. B3. Okay, and Adair, last one. We're on to 7.
I'm starving. Well, let's eat now.
Right. So that's where B5 goes, isn't it? That's our B5. So that means, Giuseppe, instead of B5 for number 2, what are we going to say?
Before, it'll be good to see you.
Which one was that? I'm sorry?
Before.
B4 is right. It'll be good to see you. Right. B4. Okay, good. So that first exercise was just to help you be a little bit more aware of those contracted forms, right? And let me see.
So it is it'll be good.
That's right.
So you pronounce T as T or D?
T or D in it'll. Each pronounce it as a D in American English.
D.
D, always a D in American English.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just making a little note here so I know where my answers are. That note. Student book page. Does this help me? Since I don't have a second computer open, I have to keep flipping back and forth in book, so I don't lose my page. Okay. What I want you to do in the second exercise is underline. Well, you can't underline. We'll have to find a substitute. Take note of the underlined words. The words that. Let me give you an example here so you can see what I mean. Give me just a second here. So you'll see under that little note there, I'm going to put exercise 2. I'm going to put an example first so you can see what I'm trying to do here. There we go. In the example, there are 2 underlined words, and it asks you to underline words which could be contracted in these sentences. Then read the sentences aloud with the contracted forms if, that is, they should be contracted. So you have to figure out. I'm not going to have the other words underlined. Actually, I'm going to do it without the underlines. But here you can see that you would underline those 2 words or note them, and then you'd read the sentence in the correct way. So there's the example. Let me see if I can paste the rest of this underneath that. 1 second. Here you go. Up until the next page. So you'll see at the top of page 11. So first, I think we're back to Giuseppe if I'm not mistaken. First, you've got to tell me which words would you underline? In other words, which words could be contracted? 1 second, let me just get my page again. 162. Okay.
Well, my feet will get wet because my shoes have got holes in.
So, which words could be contracted? First of all, just say them clearly.
Probably will.
Will? Not probably, always, of course, always. Will can always be contracted. Remember, when I say contracted, we're talking about there's a difference between the writing and the speaking. In speaking, we always contract it, always, always, always. In writing, it's true, not everything can be contracted, but that doesn't mean we say it as if it's not contracted. So,
Will and have.
will and have, of course. So when we're speaking, these are always contracted sounds. Let me hear the sentence with the contractions now.
My fiddle would get wet because my shoes have got holes in.
Okay. That's right, but I need to hear it really clearly, because remember, we've identified the sounds. We know that will be remember, like I'll, so it'd be ill, and have will be uv. So if you make that contraction really, really clear,
My fiddle
right?
get wet because my shoes have
Good. Shuziv,
got holes in.
right? Again, that's British English. They'll say got holes in. American English would say got holes in them. But in British English, you can drop that final word. Listen to me say the sentence. My feet'll get wet because my shoes have got holes in them. So I really have to say in them. But you hear that? Fetal and shoesiv. Fetal and shoesiv. Okay, good. So we're up to Alessia.
Yep. There is no butter, but this will do instead. Is and will. There's
Absolutely.
no butter, but this will no. But this will no. This no. There's no butter, but this will do instead.
Now listen to me.
Okay.
Listen to me. Remember I'll.
Yeah.
I'll. Here, instead of I'll, it's going to be this'll.
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 This'll do instead.
Okay?
Yeah.
And for the first part, is that an S or a Z sound?
There's
So that's a Z, right?
yeah.
Yeah? Okay. There's no butter. Not there's a no butter. Remember, there's two kinds of languages in the world. Musical languages and the other kind, stressed languages. English is a stressed language. Italian is a musical language. In Italian, you have to add a syllable for it to sound right. So you have to say there's a, Gaia, right? Over there, ra. But in English, we focus on the stress, the emphatic syllable.
Yeah.
So you really have to try to train yourself to not add the syllable. So instead of there's a, we say there's no butter.
Okay. There's no butter.
Good. There's no butter, but this'll do instead.
But this will do instead.
That's it. This'll.
This'll.
So
No,
it sounds like
I tried.
alien words. It sounds like alien words.
Yeah.
Instead of feet will, we've got fetal. Instead of shoes have, it's shoesiv. So we've got fetal, shoesiv, there's, and this'll. But that's how real English sounds. So it's good.
Yeah.
And Nadera, what about three? Where are contracted words?
Am and would.
Right. Absolutely. Am and would. I agree.
I am sure Anid help if she could.
Good, good. The only thing I would say is maybe in the first part,
Anid, I am.
I'm, yeah. We don't need to add in, we don't need to say I am, but I'm. It runs together. That's it. I'm sure, and this is hard to say even for me. I'm sure Anid get help. Anid. So it's Anid really fast. I'm sure Anid get help if she could. Anid. You know, Anid.
I am sure Anid help if she could.
Anid help if she could. It's weird. It's actually kind of strange, but anyway, you will definitely hear people talking like that. I personally wouldn't. I probably would say, I'm sure Anid, I'm sure Anid, because for me it's really Anid can help if she could. Yeah, maybe I would. Okay, maybe I would. Because for me it's much more of a diminutive would than a D sound. Instead of would, it's ud. It's kind of a quick. But okay, anyway, it works. I'm sure Anna could help if she could.
So
All right.
could you please shed some light on your point
About what? Which point?
about anid or anid?
I'm just thinking about how I would say it, and I'm trying to think if I would really say it as a d, or more like as a very fast would.
So
Like
what is a very
anid.
what is a very fast word would?
A very fast would has the sound in it, and like in the dictionary you'll see an upside down e, which we call the schwa symbol, which stands for a neutral vowel, anode, because it's would, but I'm cutting out the w. Anyway, I
So
guess
it is like have
yeah, it's like that.
anode.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. But I'm just, maybe I shouldn't make that point. Maybe the point is when you're speaking fast, no one will be able to tell the difference. So don't worry about it. I'm just thinking how natural this sounds. Also because this material is British English, and I'm just sort of thinking, well, is it exactly the same? Actually, these specific sentences were spoken by an Australian speaker, so the accent is even a little tiny bit different than British English. Anyway, when we're speaking fast, I think these rules apply. Don't worry too much about it. It's okay. I'm sure Ana'd get help if she could, or An'd get help if she could. Both are okay. Giuseppe, in number 4, let's see.
How did they know with that we had the be there?
Okay, but first just tell me the contracted words so I can hear them clearly. What are the contracted words?
We.
Well, I'm saying which words are we going to cut out?
We would, but
Would? Anything else?
I don't know how did
Exactly. The first one too. Did. Would and did. Both of them.
cut or not.
Okay? So, if you're going to choose, absolutely would is the one that everyone will contract. Not everyone will contract the did. But in American English, I think it would sound pretty much okay. So let me hear the sentence one more time, Giuseppe.
How did they know we had be there? We had be there.
Okay. Let me hear it with the how did contracted together.
How'd
Good.
how they know we'd be there.
Okay, that's good. How did they know? How did they know? How did they know? How did they know we'd be there together? We'd be there. I don't know why I said together. There's no together there. I'm just inventing words. How did they know we'd be there? Giuseppe, how did they know we'd be there? Repeat. How did they know we'd be there?
How they know? How they know we'd be
How
there?
did they know? So I guess you might want to add a little id. I don't even know how I'm doing this. How do they know? How do they know? I guess I'm saying it like that. How do they know? I guess I'm saying it like that. How do they know? So I'm kind of dropping off the last D in did. How do they know? How do they know? How do they know? That's how I'm doing it. How do they know we'd? So try it like that. you know what? It almost sounds like your normal Italian accent. How do we do? Because it's followed by a consonant, so it actually sounds a little bit better here. In this particular case, it sounds a little better to add a little vowel afterwards, or think about it as just dropping the final D. How do they know? How do they know? Try that.
How did they know? We'd be
Yeah.
there. We'd be there.
We'd be there.
We'd be there. We'd be there.
That's it. Weed. Just like in the garden, you've got your roses and you've got your weeds. Weeds are the things that kill the flowers that you like. The weeds. W-E-E-D. Weeds. All right. Let's go. All right. We've got actually 3 people and 3 more, so let's try this. Alessia, number 5 is probably going to be our last exercise. Number 5.
Yeah. Adam has phoned to say he's not ready to go yet, but he will call. He will call again when he's here. He is here. He is. Oh, today it's not a good day to read. Okay. Has and his and will and his. Adam
Has. Wait. Has. Is.
has
Will.
his, will and his.
Is the last is, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. I don't know if we should contract the last is because there's no word following is.
Okay.
Because there's no word, there's no reason to skip over it and jump to the next word like we do with the others. So I don't think we're going to contract the last is, but the first 3 for sure we will.
Okay.
Let's try it.
Let's try. Adam's phoned to say he's not ready to go yet, but he'll call again when he is.
Okay, good. Just one little change. You said he isn't not ready to go.
He is not ready to go. Yeah, not.
Yeah, but don't say not. If you say isn't, you don't need to say not. It's already
Okay.
contracted. So he
Yeah.
isn't ready.
He isn't ready to go.
Right. Okay. It's good. It's good. Listen to me, because I'm going to say it a little faster.
Yeah.
Adam's phone to say he isn't ready to go yet. Let's do that part first. Adam's phone to say he isn't ready to go yet.
Adam's phone to say yes isn't ready to go yet.
But he'll call again when he is.
But he'll call again when he is.
Yeah, but he'll. It's really, it's really buttle. Buttle. But he'll call again.
But will call again.
That's it. So we almost skip over the he. It's there, but it's kind of quiet. So it's almost like saying but'll, but in fact it's but he'll, really fast. But he'll. But he'll.
But he'll.
Okay. And there, this is our last one for this exercise, number 6.
There have been will contract both of halves.
Both of the halves, okay.
There have been 4 parcels delivered for you while you've been away.
That's it. There have been while you've. So there's 2 different ofs here. The first one is there of, and the second one is yeah,
just the v.
Just with the v. That's right. That's right. All right. And the last one is actually pretty easy. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do if Tom's gone already? So it's the will and is. What do you do if Tom's gone already? Now, the reason we're looking at contractions is because look at this monologue. Oh, this is the monologue for contractions. Did anyone ever see the movie Bronx Tale from a long, long time ago? Anyone see it? No? It's about a guy from the neighborhood, and he's looked up to, or he looks up to a mafioso dude. So it's kind of a young kid looking up to this mafia guy, and he's got to decide if he's going to side with the mafia or side with his father, who's trying to oppose the mafia. And it's supposed to be a true story. I kind of doubt it's as truthful as they say it is. It seems pretty fictionalized. Anyway, it was an interesting film. But the main thing is, all of that Italian-American parlance. All of those contracted forms, like, hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? You've got all of those. All right? So you have to use your knowledge of contractions to do this monologue, and I've got a YouTube link for you to listen to it. I found the link right before class, so I'm not sure if it's the whole monologue. I think it is, but I'm not sure. But it should be. So that means you can listen to it on your own. But let's see how it sounds. Let's do this. Let's analyze, I don't know, the first 2 or 3 sentences in terms of contractions. And then you'll try to do the whole monologue yourself. Let's just do, and then let's do it like this. I'm going to reprint the first 3 sentences. Got 3 people, so we're each going to take one. And let's see how it sounds. So, Giuseppe, you do the first one. Tell me where my contractions are.
You got to do what your heart tells you to do. Let me tell you something right now. You're only allowed.
Let's take the first sentence. So, are there any contractions? There's really no words to contract, right? There's no will, there's no is. Okay. But you remember all of our 6 tools. Find the function and all of that. So first, find the function and I'll underline them. What do you think are the function words? What are the stressed words here?
The stressed words are the heart.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. Just that?
Something.
Well, we're only going to look at the first sentence first, because Alessia is going to do the second, and Dare's going to do the third. So besides heart, I absolutely agree with you. The content word is heart. Are there any other stressed words in this sentence?
I believe no.
Okay. Let me do this. Okay. So we've got these other tools though. Once we find the stressed word, the content word, we have to label the stress. Here it doesn't matter. There's only one syllable. So there's only one stress. There's no multi-syllable words. Okay, the next big thing is to link it up. Where do you think the links are in this sentence, Giuseppe?
Go to.
Right.
Consonant.
So let's do it like this. I'm going to put a little link there. Got to. Any others?
What you got to the what? What your tells you to.
Listen to me. Listen to me on this one. You got to do what your heart tells you to do. You got to do what your heart tells you to do.
Heart tells.
Yeah, what your heart tells you. For me, it would be a link here, tells you, and to do. So it probably looks something like this. Probably looks something like this. And maybe what I'll say again?
What your
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to write, let me, I don't want to underline this word, it's probably confusing. I'll put it in bold. Okay, so you've got the links there, and you have to remember what links they are. 4 ways to link things up. Consonant to consonant, consonant to vowel, consonant when it's, we'll call it a doubled consonant. In other words, if it ends with an M and begins with an M, it's a long sound. So that's a double consonant. And finally, the magic Y and the magic W. If it begins with a vowel, sometimes we have to insert a Y or a W to make it sound right. Well, there's no real vowel sounds here, so it's not going to be the magic W. But we have a lot of consonant to consonants, right? Got to do. And what else? Yeah, we've got a lot of consonants, basically. Okay. So I think all we need to say here, the only thing I need to point out is remember that T's equal D's in American English. I'll just point that out. So got to becomes what, Giuseppe?
Got do.
Gotta. Yeah, gotta.
Gotta do.
All right. So listen and repeat. You gotta do.
You gotta do what your heart
tells you
to do.
To do, like ta-da, to do, ta-da. You gotta do what your heart tells you to do. Repeat.
You gotta do what your heart
what your heart. Hey, that's pretty good. You could do that. You could say whatcha. I don't, but you could. That's another way to do it. Whatcha. That's okay. Or what ya. I would say what ya, but I have kind of a more mild accent. A lot of people would say whatcha. What you want? What you want? What you doing? Hey Giuseppe, what you doing? Sorry, you were saying?
Sorry. You gotta do what your heart tells you to do.
That's it. It tells you to do. You got to do what your heart tells you to do. You got to do what your heart tells you to do. All right. Let's move this down a little bit. Alessia, let's try the second one, and then Adair, the last one.
Let me tell you something right now. And it's, let me tell, I think it's link.
Yeah, I agree. So between let and me.
Let me tell. And something it's bold.
So that's our whoops, what just happened? Oops, I think I just accidentally created a new, let me get rid of that, sorry. Something went wrong on my computer. That's our content word.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other links besides let me?
Right now.
Right. Okay, there is a quiet link. Yeah, I agree, there is. But also tell you. It's not tell you. So you've got a link between let me, tell you, and a quiet, soft link in right now.
Okay.
Okay? You want me to try it first, or do you want to try it first?
It's
you want to listen? Me or you?
Yeah. I want to listen to you.
Me, okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right. This last one's a little hard to do. Right now. Look, the right now, it's consonant to consonant. So you have to say it as if it's one word. But you don't do anything fancy. You don't change the T or anything like that.
Okay.
So, let me, you drop the T. In fact, if you like, I can just cut it out. Let me. Tell you. If you want to really be accurate, it becomes tell you. Or maybe I can do it like this. Tell you.
Okay.
Something. There's a kind of link here. Something right. It almost sounds like we've dropped the G. Almost. Let me tell you something right now. Something right now. Something. It's a little hard to explain, but if you hear it, this G it's not really dropped. It's just kind of moved over to the next word.
Okay.
Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something right now. You try.
Let me tell you something right now.
Yeah, it's good. Now. Ow. Yeah, you gotta get that owl sound. Let me tell you something right now.
Let me tell you something right now.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Me and Bobby the squirrel. I'm gonna cut off your thumbs if you don't pay us back. Oh, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, Nader, last one. Oh, I shouldn't have put that contraction in there. I should have written it like this. Sorry about that. Hey there, are there any contractions in the sentence?
Let me think.
I think there
Your.
might be. Oh, right,
Your.
your. Okay, that's true.
Mm,
So I'll put it back in since you got it. There you go.
mm.
Okay,
You only
so there's no other ones. Now it's about linking. Well, first of all, where's our content word? Word or
allowed.
words?
Allowed.
Okay, I agree, yeah.
Maybe 3.
Possibly, depending on how you say the sentence.
Women.
Absolutely.
Lifetime maybe, but women for sure.
Yeah, maybe lifetime as well. Maybe.
So
I think you're right about 3 because it's going to be the way that the person emphasizes. What's important is the number. So I agree. It's probably going to be 3. And allowed, I'm not sure how stressed that is, but okay, let's try. Oh, no, are there any links before we say it? Are there any
you
links?
only allowed 3 in your.
Oh, right. In your, yeah, okay, sounds good.
So you're only allowed 3 great women in your lifetime.
Well, you made a link between great and women right now.
Great women.
You said great
women.
because you said great women, which is fine in British English.
Great women.
I would say great women. Great women. I'd say it with a D. I'd say it with the D sound. But
So
yeah,
you're always replacing T with D or only between vowels?
you are always replacing T with D.
I'm talking about you personally.
Me personally, always. Unless it begins a word. Obviously, if it begins a word, there's no reason. Then again, if it begins a word and it's between vowels or it's between consonants, then we're saying it fast. In other words, if it begins a word and it's a function word, we might do it there too, like gotta, right? Two begins a word, but we still.
It depends on the word before it.
It depends on whether or not it is the first sound and it's isolated. If it's not isolated, then it's always a D, regardless of whether there's vowels or consonants. So when it's embedded, it's always a D. When it's isolated, it can be a T. Like I wouldn't say, you know, the hell with it. The hell with it. I would say, to hell with it, right? Sure. I would say the T because it's isolated there. But if someone said, go to hell, go to. Probably.
But here it's in between vowels. But usually you do not think whether it is between vowels or not. If it's in the middle, you replace it with a D.
Yeah. It's always just a D, basically. So here's how I would say this sentence: You're only allowed. That's really linked together, actually, isn't it? You're only allowed 3 great women in your lifetime. So I'm even linking this one together too as a consonant to consonant. So the only tricky thing is the great women. If you say it fast, great women. Say it slowly, great women. Say it fast, great women. Okay, let's hear the whole thing.
You're only allowed 3 great women in your lifetime.
Sounds pretty good. It's not bad. You're only allowed 3 great women in your lifetime.
You're only allowed 3 great women in your lifetime.
Sounds pretty good. And there's even a link here. You're only allowed. There's no separation, actually. You're only allowed 3 great women in your lifetime. That's it. Okay. Now, last thing I'm going to say, because we're over time, we've got to stop. Last thing I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You practice this monologue on your own. You can listen and repeat and do the tracking exercise I mentioned, where you're listening and speaking at the same time. How do you do it? Go to the YouTube link, download it as an MP3 or download it and convert it, put it in your iPad or your iPod or your MP3 player, and read and speak. Read, listen, speak. Now, before you do that, use the tools to analyze the sentences so that you can really map out what you're going to focus on, like we just did. You can apply that to the whole text. So if you spend 3 days mapping out the sentence in a short session, like 10 minutes, do a little mapping, then the next day another 10 minutes, right? It won't be so painful. If you spend 2 hours mapping out the sentence, listening and repeating, then it's going to be a very painful and unpleasant thing. So do a little bit at a time if you can. All right? And next week, next Monday, I want to hear the final results. By the way, you can also record it and send it to me. Send me the link to the file, and then that will be another way that you can I can correct it for you. Okay, so you've got those options. Let me see if I can turn my camera back on to say goodbye.
Bye.
It's not letting me say goodbye. I'm frozen. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is always so tricky. Okay, I'll be back in just a moment for the business class. We're still on how to make a first impression. We're going to be using our key expressions from last week to do an email and follow-up call, I believe, using our key expressions to make a good impression. And we'll probably be beginning the next part, which is a practical application of some of the things we've learned in I don't remember what it is. Come to class and you'll find out. Be back in just a minute. See you next week, everyone. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Bye-bye for now.